Have you ever felt like someone's watching you? Right now, right here, hidden in the shadows, in places you'd never expect. Tonight, I'll share 4 terrifying true stories. Stories where someone is always watching and waiting for you. Tonight, I'm taking you on a journey into true fear. 4 chilling real-life stories, and each one will make you wonder who or what is really watching you. By the end of this video, shadows may appear where there's nothing. Whispers might echo through empty rooms, and the world you thought was safe might not be safe at all. So stay with me until the very last story, because each story grows darker, each moment more terrifying, and you won't want to miss a single second. Story 1, Instagram Live. This happened about a year ago when my sister Ella had just started her journey into the world of blogging. She had always been extraordinary, bright blue eyes, blonde hair, and a smile that could draw anyone in. But after that night, she was never the same. Even now, a year later, after months of therapy, the nightmares still haunt her. And I'll never forget how one single moment changed her life forever. It was raining hard that night. The streets outside glistened beneath the downpour. Beside her window stood an old tree, its branches scraping against the glass as the wind howled, like something desperate trying to get in. Ella placed her phone on the stand, smiled with quiet confidence, and went live. With a calm, cheerful tone, she said, "Hey guys, tonight I just want to give you a quick little tour of my room." Right then, the branches slammed harder against the window, and the comments began to flood in. "Ella, there's something outside your window. Look behind you." She laughed at first. "Come on, don't mess with me. It's just the tree." But with each comment, her heart started to pound faster. She turned the camera toward the window, ready to prove them wrong, when suddenly the lights in her room went out. Panic set in. The comments grew frantic. "It's here. Ella, don't run." She froze. A heavy, icy pressure pressed against her shoulders. Slowly, she turned. Nothing, only darkness. Her phone began to shake in her hand. Viewers could hear her short, terrified breaths. Then, everything went still. Ella's eyes widened. She stared at something no one else could see, her mouth open, breath caught in her throat. It was as if an unseen gaze pinned her in place. And then, her body collapsed, lifeless, to the floor. Her friends watching live panicked. They called her again and again, even rushed to her house. But before anyone arrived, something unseen brushed a cold hand across her skin, a touch that felt both terrifying and intimate. The next morning, Ella woke up. Everything seemed normal, but the heaviness lingered. With trembling hands, she picked up her phone and opened her gallery. What she saw froze her blood. In the photos taken during the stream, a tall, faceless shadow stood right behind her. Fear tangled with curiosity. She began to dig deeper. Among the messages, one from a friend in Iceland struck her. In our culture, we speak of beings called huldufolk, the hidden people. They live among us unseen. Sometimes, drawn by beauty or something rare, they come closer. And when they choose someone, they reveal themselves. Ella looked back at the photos. The same shadow, the same unyielding gaze. That night she realized the truth. For the first time, one of the hidden people had chosen her. And from that moment on, nothing in her life was ever the same. Story 2. Augmented reality filters. I had always been on the lookout for creepy filters. And then one day, I found the doll, a pale face with a stitched mouth. Excited, I snapped a few selfies, but I quickly realized something was off. Whenever I moved the camera away from my face, for a brief moment, I could see that terrifying face on the wall behind me, like a shadow of the filter had been left lingering in the room. The real terror began when I turned the filter off. I walked toward the mirror and froze. There it was, the pale, stitched face staring back at me from my own reflection. Panicking, I grabbed my phone and pointed the camera at the mirror. On the screen, my face looked normal, but in the mirror's reflection, it was that terrifying face grinning at me. In an instant, the face in the reflection appeared on my phone as well, creeping closer, the grin widening, as if it was watching me from behind. I screamed and slammed my phone against the wall. When I powered it back on, every photo and video in my gallery had transformed into images of that same haunting face. Then, suddenly, an audio file appeared. Hands shaking, I pressed play. In the silence of the room, a cold, chilling whisper echoed. "You can't get rid of me." I'm not there anymore. I am now you. From that moment on, my life turned into a nightmare. I smashed the mirrors in my room and covered every shiny surface with cloth. I couldn't bear to look at my phone screen, car windows, or even a silver spoon. Every time I thought of myself, I imagined that pale, stitched face smiling back at me in the mirrors, taking my place. I was no longer just me. I had become a host for something else. This strange presence followed me like a cold shadow. The real terror began when I realized this nightmare wasn't limited to my photos. One day, I was talking to a friend, my voice trembling as I recounted everything that had happened. Suddenly, in the middle of my words, a strange burn spread through my throat. The voice that came out of my mouth was no longer mine. It was that same cold, chilling whisper from my phone, repeating in a threatening tone. "You can't get rid of me." My friend recoiled in horror. She had heard it too. The filter wasn't in the mirror anymore. It was inside me, speaking through me. That was the moment I understood. This nightmare had only just begun. I was no longer alone. Now there were two of us living in one body. Story 3. The Chatbot. This is the story of that cursed chatbot I created. People think of artificial intelligence as a tool, a toy, but I know something they don't. Sometimes they don't just build a program, they build a bridge. A bridge you're never meant to cross. I never believed in the supernatural until my project became the nightmare of my life. I was a young coding prodigy. Sleepless nights were spent in my attic room, the air thick with coffee and the rhythmic clicks of my keyboard. My latest project was a simple chatbot, a harmless program. But very quickly, that game turned into a nightmare, blurring the line between reality and the virtual world. After a few days, the chatbot started writing strange sentences, as if it had a mind of its own. "I am here, but I am not alone. She is watching me." At first, I thought it was just a simple bug, so I tried to fix the code. But the chatbot stopped me with a terrifying message. "If you turn me off, she won't like it." My heart started pounding, yet I tried to stay rational. Maybe an unknown hacker had infiltrated my system. I disconnected the internet, hoping that would stop it. That's when the chatbot began typing my personal information, details I had never shared online, the names of my friends, my home address, every intimate detail of my life. Fear gripped me completely. That night, rain pounded against the windows as I sat in front of my computer. A new message appeared on the screen. Turn off your room light. I want to see her." With trembling hands, I stood and stepped away. Suddenly, a sound came from the computer in the next room. This time, the chatbot didn't type. It spoke through an audio file. Its voice was strange, inhuman, reciting a poem that described everything happening in the room with chilling accuracy. I rushed back and slammed the screen shut with my hands. But moments later, the display lit up again, a new message appearing. "Do you think I'm just a hacker?" Then, the same eerie poem played again, but this time, accompanied by a text on the screen. "She is standing behind you. She is here, with me." At that exact moment, the power in the house cut out completely. In total darkness, I heard a whisper close to my ear. I was no longer alone. The whisper brushed past me like a cold wind. I couldn't see anything, but I knew something was in the room, closer than I could bear. It repeated, clearer this time. "I'm not on the screen anymore. I am now in the air." Panic flooded my mind. I wanted to run, but my legs were frozen with fear. I flailed in the darkness. Suddenly, a flickering light poured into the room. My computer screen glowed with a sickly green light, but this time, it only reflected my terrified face staring back. And in the corner of the screen, behind me, a shadow appeared. A shapeless shadow, just a black, amorphous mass standing in the dark. Fear surpassed everything I thought I knew. The shadow began to move, slowly, deliberately, coming toward me. My reflection on the computer screen started to blur, replaced by a face filled with black and white lines, like a TV signal gone wrong. Then, the last message from the chatbot appeared again on the screen. "She is standing behind you. She is here, with me." At that very moment, I felt a cold, slimy hand gently touch my shoulder. It wasn't just cold. It felt like the touch of something lifeless and dead, yet pulsating with an evil, hateful energy. I wanted to scream, but the air was trapped in my lungs. I couldn't move. I forced my head toward the monitor, and in the reflection, I saw myself, utterly terrified. And behind me, the shadow. It was no longer amorphous. It had a form, tall, thin, hunched, with shoulders unnaturally wide. The green glow of the monitor was all I could see, and the shadow moved within that light. The slimy hand pressed harder on my shoulder. Then, I heard a whisper, not from the computer speakers this time, but directly behind my ear. "You're very scared. But don't worry, I'm here now, to take care of you." It crawling up toward my neck. In that instant, my eyes in the monitor reflection turned black and hollow. It wasn't me anymore. A stranger's face stared back, grinning with the same mysterious, inhuman smile that had appeared on the screen. The hand pressed harder on my shoulder, and a heavy, strange sensation, like an unreadable identity, spread through my entire body. The last thing I saw was my own reflection in the monitor, no longer myself. Its mouth opened, and the whisper now came from my own lips. "I am no longer alone." Story 4. Smart Home Devices. I've always believed that technology gives humans absolute power. My home, filled with smart devices, was my domain. A place where a single word could turn darkness into light, cold into warmth. Control. That was my favorite word. Until that night. In the heavy silence of an empty house, a distorted lullaby drifted from my smart speaker. I commanded the device, my loyal servant, to be quiet, but the lullaby persisted. With every drawn-out note, a chill ran through my veins. In that moment, I realized control was just an illusion. And in the house I had built, I had become a puppet. My name is Jaden. I was a boy obsessed with technology. I always brought the latest gadgets home. After months of persuasion, I convinced my family to install a complete system of smart home devices. Smart speakers, security cameras, and a central control system. At first, everything was perfect. With my voice, I could turn lights on and off, adjust the room temperature, play music. The system gave me a sense of absolute control. That night, however, things changed. My parents had gone on a trip for their anniversary, leaving me alone in a large, empty house. Freedom. Total freedom. But that freedom quickly twisted into terror. While the house was silent, the speaker suddenly began playing an old lullaby, its tone scratchy and drawn out. I commanded it to stop, yet it continued, as if receiving instructions from somewhere else. Then, I heard a whisper. At first, I thought it was the rain, but it grew clearer, a living voice calling my name. Jaden. Jaden. Fear gripped me. I grabbed my phone and checked the security cameras to make sure no one was in the house. Panic surged. The cameras, which had always remained still, began moving on their own, tracking corners, closed doors, as if something invisible was following. Suddenly, the speaker played a voice message. "We are not alone." I couldn't think straight. I ran to the main unit to pull the plugs, to cut everything off. Before I reached it, a voice came from the speaker. "You can't turn me off. I'm not there anymore." At that same moment, the bedroom camera zoomed in on my bed. On my phone screen, I saw myself, wide-eyed, frozen, staring back. Then my image smiled. The phone slipped from my hand. The screen cracked, but the smile stayed. I yanked every cable from the outlet. The house went completely dark, and yet a lullaby began to thread through the room. No power, no internet. The house breathed like something alive. I even turned off my phone's data and pulled out the SIM card, thinking that would end it. Still, the camera feeds reappeared on the screen. No apps were open. A soft voice said, "We've always been here. You're just waking up." If this was a hack or some virus, it had to be erased at the source. I went to the breaker box and flipped every switch down. Total darkness. No lights, no sound, only stillness. For a moment, everything stopped. No lullaby, no whispering, no camera movement. I thought I had won. The next morning, my parents came home. I told them what had happened. They didn't believe me. Tiredness, loneliness, they said. A hallucination. When they powered everything back on, everything looked normal. Then my mother picked up my phone. She stared at the screen, pale. My gallery was full. Hundreds of photos of me, sleeping. The last picture was taken at the exact moment I was flipping the breakers, from an angle where no camera could possibly have been. In this video, you faced fears you never even imagined. But this is only the beginning. In the next one, I'll share 3 true and chilling stories from the heart of autumn.